Hey everybody, it's Pastor Folkemer here at Union Lutheran Church. Just wanted to give you a little sneak peek about tonight's Good Friday service. We call it the service of darkness and light. You may see the chancel behind me is looking pretty bare. Last night at the Thursday worship service, towards the end of our worship time, we read a psalm, and while that psalm was being read, people took and stripped all the pieces out of the chancel. This helps to represent Christ being stripped of his dignity, his clothing being taken from him, all these things. It kind of leaves us bare at this point on Good Friday, as Christ is going to be crucified on the cross. So tonight we're going to read the Gospel of John's Passion. We'll read it in parts. We'll hear the story of Jesus' arrest. We'll hear the story of his trial, and we'll hear the story of his crucifixion. We'll also have an opportunity for some wonderful prayers. Prayers for our leaders in the church, prayers for our leaders of our nations and around the world, prayers for the ministries of the church, prayers for people who are in trouble or are in need, prayers for people who have different faiths of us, that we can live in peace together. So it's beautiful, beautiful service. During the reading of the Passion, you'll see the candles on the altar behind me. After each section, we break it into 8 sections. These candles will be put out one by one. We'll sing a hymn, and then some of the lights in the sanctuary will be turned out. It'll help us kind of grow in darkness as we get closer to Christ's crucifixion. However, at the end, this is Good Friday. It's not Sad Friday, so it's Good Friday, and we're actually thankful. We give thanks that Christ on the cross was lifted up in order to help save us. Well, not help, but to save us from our sins. And so at the end of the service, though the lights will still be dim, we will turn on some of the lights, and a large wooden cross will be carried forward to the front of the worship space, and we will sing a hymn to glorify the cross, that this instrument of sin and death, this instrument of torture, has now been used by God in order to create hope and new life. So it's a victory of the cross. So that's why Good Friday is truly good. It's not meant to leave us in sadness, but with hope and with knowledge that through this cross, Christ was able to save us from the sin and death. So our service tonight is a continuation of last night's service. We'll begin right in with the prayer of the day. There won't be any announcements, won't be any opening things. It just goes straight in as a continuation of last night. And this service doesn't have an ending, because this service is just the middle piece to the big 3 days of worship that we've talked about in our last video, that we will continue tomorrow night, Saturday night at 8 p.m. on the front steps of Market Street, and we will begin our Easter Vigil at that time. During that service, again, we hear the history of our salvation and our relationship with God, and then we celebrate the first communion of the resurrection. As we throw on all the lights, the flowers, the white garments, everything will be going on as we celebrate Jesus' resurrection. So join us tonight for Good Friday for the service of darkness and light, as we, yes, remember the sacrifice that Christ made for us, but also glorify the cross as this instrument of salvation and hope. So God bless, and I hope to see you soon.